Hi guys, welcome back to Chit Chat. Today we'll be talking about Kristen Smart, a young woman who vanished from a college campus.
Kristen Smart was a young woman who vanished from a college campus. She is missing. She weighed 145 to 160 pounds. Her eyes were brown. Her hair was dark blonde. She was last seen on the 25th of May, and there's currently a 75,000 reward being offered for her. 18-year-old April Gregory and 19-year-old Kristen Smart never met. They were enrolled at different universities on opposite ends of the country, yet within the same 5-hour period, they were both vanished with no warning and no explanation. April Gregory took her schoolwork at the Syracuse University very seriously. When she finished her freshman year, she immediately enrolled in the summer session. At 11:45 p.m. on May 24, 1996, April's brother Lamar dropped her off at her dorm. I helped her with her bags to the front of the dormitory, and that was the last I saw her.
April walked up the stairs, entered the door under the watchful eyes of dorm officials, and went to her 7th-floor room, then was never seen again. A short time later, police searched April's room. They discovered that when she was disappeared, she hadn't finished unpacking, and in the closet, only one clue. Her work uniform was missing, but April never arrived at home. April's father, Herman, knew it could only be a bad news.
Rarely did she miss work, very rarely. I just knew something bad had happened to my baby. At almost the same moment that April Gregory disappeared, another young woman mysteriously vanished 3,000 miles away. 19-year-old Kristen Smart was a freshman at Cal Poly State University in San Luis. About the time April should have been heading to work in New York, Kristen was returning to her dorm after a party. She wasn't alone. 19-year-old Paul Flores was also a freshman at Cal Poly. He had offered to walk Kristen home after the party. An eyewitness saw Paul and Kristen on a street corner. Paul told police that Kristen went to her dorm and he crossed the street to his. Denise Smart is Kristen's mother. Kristen phoned home every Sunday religiously. And when that Sunday passed and she hadn't phoned, I knew something was wrong. Police and volunteers searched the campus for Kristen, but they didn't find a clue. The cadaver search dogs were taken through the dorms. According to the Detective Sergeant Peter R. Bayer of the San Luis County Sheriff's Office, the dogs earned their pay. Those dogs hit on this room 128, at the Cal Poly campus, and specifically came into this room and hit on this mattress and the corner of this mattress. This room was occupied by, coincidentally, the male subject that was last seen with Kristen Smart on the day she became a missing person.
The male subject was Paul Flores. Detective Bayer said that the authorities became suspicious of Flores' statement that he and Christina had gone home separately. He states he continued into his dorm, which is up the hill, and she left and went up between the two dorms to her own dorm. However, we believe that, based on what we've learned from the search dog, she actually continued into his dorm with him. Christine's mother, Denise, has not given up hope of finding Christine's alive, but she's not optimistic.
As any parent can imagine, the longer that it goes on, the dimmer the light, and we can only hope. April Gregory's father is haunted by his daughter's disappearance. There was a neighborhood girl that resembles April a lot, and I'd be in the kitchen sometimes when she'd walk by the house. My heart would just flutter because I'd be missing my April, and I'd be so disappointed that it's not her. Everything brings April to my mind. I don't cry as much as I used to, but the pain is still there. I really, really miss our daughter. There's an update. In November of 1997, more than a year after she vanished, April Gregory's former boyfriend was charged with her murder. Police claimed that Terrence Evan killed April. After an argument, dismembered her body and then hid part of it in his house. The jury convicted Evans of second-degree murder. He is serving 25 years to life in prison. In April of 2021, Paul Flores was arrested in the connection with Kristen Smart's disappearance. He booked for a single charge of murder. His father, Ruben Flores, has also been arrested on a single charge of being an accessory after the fact. On October 18th, 2022, Paul Flores was found guilty of murder in the first degree. His father, Ruben Flores, was not found guilty. In March of 2023, Paul Flores was sentenced to 25 years to life for the murder of Kristen Smart. Thank you so much for listening. We get all of our information from unsolved.com on all our cases. Bye.
Bye.